about this stuff. You can't stay quiet anymore.
Rick, I agree with the principles that you're raising, but for this particular food that's being incinerated, it was sitting in Dubai in a container. It was meant for distribution to Afghanistan, Yemen, and Pakistan. And there were all sorts of pleas, even with changes in policy for how aid would be sent to any of these particular countries, could it be redistributed or repurposed? And it was basically a symphony of incompetence among the administration. Nobody was responding or doing their job. So I think, if anything, what it highlights is this is only one area. What you're raising about the Houston location, yeah, a lot of that food, because these were higher energy biscuits, essentially, not that were meant to be shelf stable food, right? That high in fat, high in protein, and I think a lot of the food in Houston was purchased by U.S. Farms and agriculture, so that food probably would have gone bad far faster than even these high energy biscuits. So this is only one of probably many of the different USAID packages that had already been procured. We've already spent tax dollars on, and it's just sitting there in rot and waste. And it's incompetent. I think it just demonstrates that when we're watching these cabinet, I don't know what to call them anymore, these series of cabinet meetings that are being produced on TV or the tweets, these are people that think that they're governing, and they actually just don't know the inner workings of how the government operates. And so they're not responding to, they're not actually doing their work. They're not doing their job. We're not seeing any actual bureaucratic processes take place as normal. And that is why it's problematic to get these quote unquote disruptors in, when if you can't pass an American citizenship test, probably shouldn't be working in the White House.
Right, or background check. Let me add to that too. The distribution, at least I was reading, was about the fact that they cut so much U.S. aid that there was no way to actually have the manpower to distribute any of this. So, which is why they had to throw it out, and maybe they didn't even have the budget left to do that because it was all cuts. And here's the thing: this is what they're doing. We're seeing this in so many levels, where they come in, they don't analyze what's going on the ground and what things need to be, addressed. They just actually cut. They make cuts, they remove, they ignore anything that the previous administration has done. They will get rid of, or they will just not do it, or cease it immediately. And so we're seeing this happen on many fronts. One is this USAID and the food that they're throwing out. Another, in my opinion, is the horrific flooding that was going on in Texas, that is still going on in Texas, where they don't have the response. They don't have the team in place. There are cuts that were made through emergency services. And let's not forget about the fact that the government there, the local government, the state government, hates, regulations and hates democratic president aid to the states that could have been helpful in a warning system. This is the fact that, FEMA wasn't even ready or up to the job for this. And this is all because the previous Democratic administrations, the new one comes in, they don't believe in anything, any of the government programs, everything should be banned. And so therefore, the people end up suffering because their policy is not to actually govern, it's to get rid of all the other things and maybe govern on a shoestring. Well, that doesn't work, and particularly in a transition. But this is not new to the Trump administration. You could argue back in 9/11 when Bush took office 8 months before, 9/11 happened, you scrapped a lot of security warnings that Clinton did because it was the Clinton thing, and they ignored a lot of the things and intelligence briefings that were going on for Bin Laden and 9/11 disaster. They threw that out the window, and then look what happened. Absolute travesty. So this is consistent with when Republicans take over. They see what the previous administration is doing. They scrap everything and they want to start again because, my God, Democrats are so bad. We can't even listen to anything that they have built up or done or warned us about. And we have to go our own way just to show them. And look what's happening. The people are suffering. That's what's happening. The end result is that the people suffer. It is inhumane, and this is consistent with what their party does.
Yeah, thanks, Scotty. This is a disaster, an ongoing disaster, and I'm seeing it here in West Africa firsthand. The problems that it's causing, and it certainly is not making our reputation. It's damaging our reputation. And at the end of the day, the idea of signing a contract in the United States is completely pointless. Because it doesn't mean anything. Treaties mean nothing for the United States. I think the rest of the world does, but the rest of the world understands that you can't trust the United States anymore. That they lie and they cheat. They have, for at least for the time that we have Donald Trump, it's the land of cheaters and liars, and that's the way it's perceived. Anyway, speaking of coming from the land of cheaters and liars, I want to say hello to Lady O'Deal, who doesn't come up here very often, but is one of our regulars. So, Lady O'Deal, what brings you up to the stage? How was that for an opening?
The land of cheaters. Wow. Well, I am in the land of the how to put it, the traffic. I'm right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just